People are scared, businesses are scared, prices are going up, and nobody knows what's coming next. The word recession keeps popping up. Some companies are cutting back, others are raising prices. So what happens to a business like ours? One that's still growing, still investing, but depends on overseas materials to survive. The truth, it's going to hurt, but not as much as you might think. Let's break down what's really happening, how it affects us, and what it could mean for you. All right, guys, you probably have seen the news. It's also been on social media, but there's a lot of talks about tariffs. You know, it started with Mexico and Canada, now it's going on to China, and you see the TikToks where some manufacturers from China are exposing the luxury brands, the Louis Vuitton. So there's a lot of talks about tariffs, and because we're a small business, we're in that space. So I guess for people that don't know, what is a tariff, you know, in simple terms?
Well, a tariff in simple terms, it's a tax. In the same way, I'll use California as an example. You know how California, you buy something for $10, it costs $10, but you end up paying $11. So that dollar doesn't go to the seller. That dollar goes to California. In the same way, when you import something from, let's say overseas, let's just say China. Let's say it costs you $10. The seller, the company, they end up paying $11. That dollar, it doesn't go to them. It doesn't go to the company. It goes to the U.S. government. In the very simple terms, in layman's terms, it's like a tax on the products that you are importing from something that is not made in the U.S.
If you want the full explanation, there's economists, there's financial people that are actually dedicated to that. So those are tariffs. But at least for us, because how I mentioned, we are a small business, it does affect us in a way. It affects us directly and indirectly. So how would it affect us currently? Because I know it has to an extent.
Yeah, so in the way that it'll affect us, the cost of the material that we do import that's outside of the US, the price is gonna go up. Luckily, that makes a very small portion of our expenses. And so luckily, even if it's 200% increase, it won't be that affected. Like the business itself, the cost, they will not be that affected. So in that sense, we're a little bit lucky because we just import the raw material and then we go ahead and manufacture it here. So like, I don't know if you take a look, most of the people here are making the product. And so that's something that we've been very good, blessed. But I know that there's other companies that they import the whole product from overseas, the entirety of it, and it makes up what? 20, 30, 40, 50% of their overall cost. Now they are going to be affected. They're going to have to either eat the cost or they're going to have to increase the prices, which is going to affect the customers. Luckily for us, like I said, we do not have to increase the prices to that extent in order to compensate for that because our cost is relatively low. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's directly, because I know it also affects us indirectly because there's a lot of talk about it. There's a lot of fear. People are scared, you know. And I'm going to use the word propaganda, but there's propaganda from both sides, both parties, and then also from people from China and then people from the US. So there's a lot of, bait news, gotcha news, fear news. So there's a lot of that. From what I've seen, at least on social media, a lot of people are scared. So they're scared if companies are going to be raising the prices, I'm not going to have enough expenses, or I'm not going to have enough money to buy what I need. For the most part, the way I'm seeing it is that because people are scared, until everything settles down, they're going to start saving money, or they're going to only spend money on their necessities, especially the egg prices. They're freaking expensive. Mm-hmm. So people would rather buy food, people would rather buy stuff that's going to help them live than some of the stuff that we offer. Mm-hmm. Why would they buy automotive kits, or why would they buy automotive film when they could buy food, when they could buy shelter, they could buy clothing? So at least on that end, it kind of affects us. Mm-hmm. And I know we've taken some steps in order to just have funds for a rainy day. Last month we had quite a bit of expenses, huh?
Yeah, but that was more than anything. It was because the business is doing good, and it was just investing into the comfort, the well-being of the company. So those were like one-off expenses. But I know that we're definitely going to be a little bit more, I don't want to say strict, but a little bit more diligent in the expenses that we do make, because we cannot foresee the future and how it will play out. So having, funds for a rainy day is going to be extremely important.
Have you guys had conversations with your guys' suppliers already? Like
the suppliers that we do have, they've reached out, because I know that because of the shipping expenses, the overall cost has gone up. So some of them have reached out to us saying that, you know what, let's go in 50-50 in the new tariffs. Some of them have said that for this time, because they don't know the future, that they'll cover it. But we've had, in a sense, negotiation. We have had to pay more for the shipping that is already on their way. But in the future, like, and that's the thing, is like hard to see or foresee. We've communicating just what would happen. We have looked at alternatives inside the U.S. Granted, there is no foundation, or there is no like a strong manufacturing base in the U.S. for our types of products or raw materials. So it is definitely something that we're looking at. But we have talked to the manufacturers, and I think even in the future, we'll see how we can work things out.
Yeah, even in the now, for other people, there are going to be opportunities for growth in the U.S. because if it's harder to outsource labor, to outsource manufacturing to other countries, there's going to be opportunity gaps in the U.S.
And even then, like, let's say the prices are going to go up, all the positives that are going to happen to us, all the Chinese competitors, all the Temus, all those, they're going to go out of business. They're not going to be able to compete. So even though our costs are going to go up, we're not going to have that competition. So with that, more opportunity. And yes, you could argue that maybe the people are not going to be able to spend as much because the cost of things are going to go up. So it's kind of like it's uncertain. Like, don't be dumb and not try to see what's going to happen. But at the same time, the things that you can't control, you can't control. And so you can only, like you said, work on what you can do, work on what you know, and work on pretty much what, in your opinion, you believe to have the most benefit in the future. I'm hoping that there's good intention behind it. I'm hoping it's for the benefit of the US. So that's my honest feeling. And then whatever comes with it, comes with it. Whether it be increased prices, whether it comes with just other things that we may not even foresee. I'm hoping that the intentions are good. And then there's really nothing else that we can do. So just focus on our business, focus on what we know how to do. And that's about it. Just kind of almost to an extent like paying attention to what's happening, but at the same time not caring, not feeling. Because if we go to like what people are saying in the news media and everything, like prices are going to go up, people are scared and all that, then we're just going to go into that rabbit hole. So you can, for me at least, it's like I hope the intentions are good, and back to work. That's pretty much it.
Yep. And then in the future, eventually, yeah, because that's one of the goals in the future, eventually going into exploring opportunities to work in the U.S., manufacture in the U.S. Because like I mentioned, that is going to be an opportunity for people right now. That's an opportunity. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, if that's something you want to do, business, maybe looking into manufacturing.